Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Abby Saves. My name is Abby. I am 24 years old. I live in Arizona and I currently am on a debt payoff journey. So I do apologize if you guys are coming back from my previous videos. I had mentioned that I wanted to share updates and share with you guys my debt payoff journey, and I haven't. So I do apologize for that. However, I was really surprised with the amount of engagement that I got, and also I appreciate the feedback after reading the comments. That definitely has changed my perspective and how I want to go about paying off my debt moving forward. So with today's video, I am going to share with you guys what my ending balances were for the end of 2025, and then share with you guys what my plans are for this year, and then moving forward, how I want to go about paying off my debt. And if you guys have any suggestions or how you would go about paying off my debt if you were in my shoes, please let me know. I do appreciate the feedback. So if you guys remember, or if you watched my previous video, I think I mentioned that before I had set a plan for myself back in January 2025. At the time, I only had 6 credit cards. However, back in June of 2025, I did get a personal loan, so that definitely changed the well, number one, the amount of debt that I had, and number two, my goal payoff dates. So right now I'm going to show you guys well, let me cover this up. So I will be sharing with you the credit cards that I have, the interest rates, what I started the year with in 2025, and then share with you guys what my goal payoff date that I set for myself was back in 2025. So I think that one day when I pay off my debt, I will show you what my starting balances were, not in 2025, but what the highest balances were, because the balances, for example, for my living spaces credit card, I think I remember at one point it was at $4,000, but when I started to actually track it and track it to make it a goal to pay off my debt, I started to track it back in January 2025. But before this date, I had way more debt. But anyways, so back in January 2025, my starting balance was $2,636.55. The interest rate for this card is 29.99%. My goal payoff date was October 31st of 2026. And I ended the year with a balance of $433.84. Moving forward with the Bank of America credit card, starting balance was $4,995.98. Interest rate is 21.24%. And if you guys notice, I wrote the minimum payment, but that's what the minimum payment was at the time of this balance. The goal payoff date that I set for myself was September 30th, 2027. And we ended the year with a balance of $4,027.19. Wells Fargo. Let's see, the ending balance was $1,846.02. Interest rate 28.99%. Goal payoff date July 31st, 2027. Okay, so this is where I did damage at the end of the year. I did end up purchasing on this card, or putting purchases onto this card, and if you guys can see, I was doing so good. Like I was paying it off, but then when was it? In July, I purchased some stuff, paid it off, but then September, all throughout the end of the year, just kept purchasing and purchasing and purchasing. So we ended the year with a balance of $1,773. Wait, $1,773 with 58 cents. Interest rate is 27%. My goal payoff date was June 30th, 2026. Okay, Discover card. The ending balance, well, the starting balance was $1,287 with 68 cents. Ending balance is $837 with 34 cents. The interest rate is at 21.24%. Goal payoff date August 31st, 2027. And then the final credit card, my Chase credit card. Starting balance was $5,343 with 29 cents. Interest rate is 28.99. And we ended the year with a balance of $4,580 with 79 cents. And now onto my personal loan. The balance was $5,900. Interest rate is at 29.75%. And the ending balance is $5,628 with 63 cents. Okay, and I had originally made a goal payoff date for 2029. I forget the exact date, but it was in 2029. So I remember so these goal payoff dates that you guys see was what I had set back when I only had 6 credit cards. But then after getting a personal loan, I had made a new like payoff goal and everything. So based on the calculator that I had put, if I essentially put $75 minimum towards, for example, Living Spaces credit card, and every month I pay $96, and for my Wells Fargo, $90 for my Apple, I should be able to pay this off by February 25th, 2029. However, well, no, like, yes, everything off by this date. But if we look here, you know, we have like the Discover card to pay this off by February 25th, 2027. If I put $75 every month. So that was the goal that I had written down after putting into consideration that personal loan. However, I had recalculated my payoff date with my numbers and everything at this moment, and based on that calculator, I should be able to pay off my debt by, what was it? It was like a 3-year plan. So it was essentially, I will be able to pay everything off by, it was August of 2028. Something like that. So, but, I don't know. What will you guys do? Because the debt payoff calculator that I had put, it was essentially following the avalanche method, where I pay off the accounts with the highest interest. But with the amount of progress that I have made, and after seeing, just how little the balances are now with, especially my Living Spaces credit card, I think moving forward, what I want to do this year is, number one, focus on paying off this first, and then next focusing on paying this, and then focus on paying off my Apple Card, Wells Fargo, and then possibly this year I think I may be able to pay this off. So these 5 credit cards, that is my main focus for this year, and I think I will be able to pay all of that off. And then in 2027, focusing on these 2. So we're going to make it a goal to have all of my accounts paid off by December of 2027. Well, we'll put here 31st. That's the goal. That's the new goal. After seeing like my balances, interest rates, what would you guys do? Like, what would you guys do if you were in my shoes? But yeah, that was basically my debt payoff update. Oh my gosh, I didn't even calculate how much total I have, or what the ending balance was in total at the end of 2025. So let's go ahead and see how much that is. Okay, so we have a ending balance, or had a ending balance of $19,127.39 for the year of 2025. At the moment, so we're kind of like in mid-January right now, I have already made a couple of payments towards my Living Spaces credit card and then my Discover card. So the plan is to be able to upload monthly debt updates, but if not, I'll try to do quarterly. But yeah, so that's the goal, is to the plan is to make a debt update at the end of January. So keep on the lookout for that. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.